You wake up tired, already scanning your inbox before your feet touch the floor. Nothing hurts, nothing is broken. The body just feels spent. This shows up most in high-level work, where performance never really turns off. You've already adjusted sleep, training, diet, even time off. And the fatigue stays. Quiet, persistent, not dramatic enough to stop you, just enough to slow everything down. This state isn't about exhaustion in the usual sense. It's the accumulated cost of staying alert, deciding, carrying consequence. The system stays online longer than it was built to. Most people misread this signal, and it quietly drains years of output. So the question isn't what's wrong, it's what's been running without pause for too long. It starts as background noise, a low hum that blends into the day until it becomes the day. Your brain wakes before the rest of you does. Inbox open, deadlines forming, the same quiet pressure that used to feel like drive. This isn't burnout in the cinematic sense. No collapse, no crisis. It's the slow compression of bandwidth. The narrowing of attention until even rest feels like work. When the system can't predict relief, it stops trying to recover. Sleep becomes maintenance, not restoration. Food becomes fuel, not nourishment. Time off feels like an interruption instead of recovery. The real fatigue isn't in the muscles. It's in the vigilance loop that never powers down. Every small decision adds cost. Every open loop adds weight. Most people try to fix this by doing less. But doing less doesn't change the load if the internal vigilance stays on. You don't need more recovery hacks. You need a state that no longer treats safety as something to earn. Here's the quiet danger. When alertness becomes identity, calm feels unsafe. That's why the system never lets go. Because letting go feels like losing the edge. But regulation isn't the opposite of performance. It's the condition for it. A regulated mind sees further, decides cleaner, recovers faster. The body isn't the problem. It's responding perfectly to the signal you've been sending, stay ready. To shift, you don't push harder. You turn the signal off on purpose, not as surrender, as precision. Recovery isn't the absence of work. It's the restoration of coherence. You start to notice the pattern once you slow down enough to hear it. Noticing isn't weakness. It's data. The mind keeps records even when the body keeps going. Every late response, every missed pause, every moment you override a signal to rest. This quiet backlog becomes your real workload. The unseen ledger where attention and energy are traded for output. You pay with clarity first, then with time, then with identity. It happens slowly. Your edges blur. The line between productive and reactive disappears. And one morning, you realize you're performing even when you're alone. This is where the system bends. Not from overwork, but from over-monitoring. A mind too focused on staying stable forgets what stability feels like. The solution isn't withdrawal, it's recalibration. You start by giving the nervous system proof that rest is not a threat. Moments that signal safety, controlled, repeatable, small. A breath you don't rush. A meal without input. A walk without purpose. Here's the quiet test. If stillness feels uncomfortable, it means your system still equates calm with risk. The goal isn't to escape intensity. It's to hold intensity without distortion. To stay clear enough that effort doesn't become identity. You train presence the same way you train strength. Not through strain, but through consistent exposure to clarity. 5 minutes at a time, signal by signal. Reteaching the system that alert and alive aren't the same thing. The fatigue fades when the loop breaks, when energy stops being spent on readiness, when awareness stops being confused with control. You don't lose your edge, you refine it. The noise falls away, and what remains is signal. Performance without recovery is prediction without error margin. At first, it looks efficient. No wasted motion, no hesitation. But underneath that precision, the system starts losing adaptability. Everything becomes a response instead of a choice. This is what high performers mistake for discipline. It's actually compression, the gradual narrowing of internal bandwidth. Less room to adjust, less room to perceive nuance. Decision quality declines long before output does. You can feel it in small moments. That half-second delay before answering. That quiet irritation when something unpredictable appears. Those are signals that your predictive loop is saturated. The brain is still running models, but without enough rest to update them. So the decisions stay accurate, but stale. They reflect who you were 6 months ago, not who you are now. This is the invisible cost of running without coherence. Here's the midpoint of risk. When your success system starts protecting the very fatigue that limits it. The nervous system adapts to whatever you reward. If vigilance earns praise, it becomes permanent. If rest feels like absence, it becomes avoidance. You train one or the other with every cycle. The shift starts with recognition, not reaction. Noticing when you're operating from compression instead of clarity. When precision comes from tension, not presence. That's the edge to watch. True leverage isn't doing more with less energy. It's making fewer moves from a cleaner state. Each decision carries more signal because none of it leaks. Regulation isn't optional hygiene for the mind. It's the architecture that allows complexity without collapse. And once you feel it, you can't unsee how scattered most performance really is. The work ahead isn't harder, it's quieter, because real precision only emerges when the noise stops. Clarity feels strange when you first reach it, not because it's new, but because it's unarmored. The system expects tension. When it doesn't find any, it starts searching for it. That search is the last residue of fatigue, the habit of vigilance itself. This is where regulation becomes identity capital. You can feel your decisions get lighter. They cost less because they come from coherence, not control. Bandwidth returns. Output stabilizes. You stop mistaking friction for purpose. The executive curve flips here. Instead of trading energy for achievement, you begin compounding energy through alignment. Each clear decision reinforces the next. Each recovery window extends performance. This is durable leverage. Not speed, but sustainability. It's also the point where many people self-sabotage. Calm threatens their narrative of effort. They chase friction again just to feel alive. But presence isn't passive. It's precision without panic. And once mastered, it scales infinitely. The nervous system recalibrates through evidence, not logic. Repeated calm under load proves safety better than any mindset shift. So the practice isn't thinking differently. It's breathing differently under pressure. Small inputs, predictable rhythms, signals of safety repeated until they replace signals of strain. The result isn't detachment, it's responsiveness without depletion. A regulated mind doesn't resist intensity, it channels it. That's where true performance lives, at the intersection of calm and consequence. You stop running from noise because the noise no longer defines you. Energy stops leaking through hypervigilance. Attention stops fracturing under load. The system that once overreacted now operates in coherence. You haven't lost your edge. You've finally learned how to hold it without bleeding. Sustainability in high performance isn't about slowing down. It's about precision in how energy moves through you. The best operators in any field share one pattern. They regulate first, then act. They never trade coherence for speed, because they know recovery is what protects leverage. Over time, you start realizing how expensive noise truly is. Every unnecessary thought, every unfiltered stimulus, every reactive impulse burns bandwidth. And bandwidth is the real currency of mastery. You can't scale without it. The nervous system governs it all. When regulation holds, output stays elegant under pressure. When it fails, you overcorrect. That's when judgment slips. That's when time gets wasted repairing what clarity could have prevented. The body knows this long before the mind does. It whispers through small hesitations, tight breaths, shallow focus. Signals we once ignored become diagnostic data, each one a clue pointing toward where energy is leaking. Here's the quiet inflection point. When you stop managing stress and start managing precision. That's the shift from coping to operating, from control to command. You begin treating energy as capital, invested, not spent. And every clear decision becomes a compounding return. This creates a new relationship with effort. It stops being about endurance. It becomes about rhythm, effort and ease alternating like heartbeat and breath, each supporting the other. Sustained excellence isn't a sprint. It's a synchronized system, alert but not anxious, focused but not rigid. And that coherence, once established, changes how reality feels. Time expands. Thoughts slow down. Decisions land clean. You're not chasing peace anymore. You're operating from it. And in that stillness, performance becomes effortless. Not because it's easy, but because nothing's wasted. Mastery isn't a state you reach. It's a rhythm you maintain. Once coherence becomes your default, the game changes from speed to depth, from output to signal quality. The nervous system no longer overreacts to pressure. It reads it as data. This is where longevity begins. Because durability isn't built through resistance. It's built through responsiveness. The ability to absorb stress without distortion. To recover in real time instead of waiting for collapse. You start noticing the difference between activity and impact. The noise of constant motion falls away. Every move is smaller, cleaner, but carries more force. Decisions compress from volume to density, each one calibrated by clarity instead of fear. This is identity coherence in motion. The mind, body, and work no longer compete for bandwidth. They align towards the same signal, efficiency without depletion. The nervous system becomes your operating system, not your obstacle. Here's the last quiet realization. Sustained high performance isn't about pushing the edge. It's about expanding what calm under load can hold. That calm becomes strategic. It keeps you from reacting to noise disguised as urgency. It keeps your energy aimed where it compounds. And it protects the single advantage no one can copy. Your internal clarity. In this space, presence replaces pressure. Decisions stop leaving residue. Attention recovers faster than it drains. The loop that once consumed you now sustains you. You no longer need external friction to feel alive. You've replaced tension with precision, readiness with resonance. And that shift, invisible to most, is what allows long-term excellence to look effortless. Because true mastery isn't performance at all. It's peace, moving with direction.